What makes communion different at Genesis Metro Church?
And who is Gunga-Lunga?
Just how much do I love the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade with a bowl of monkey bread?
And how about them Cowboys?
Woo!
And welcome back to another episode of the Bourne and Raised podcast. We are recording on December 2nd, 2025, episode number 9 today. And we are so excited to be back with you guys. My name is Jordan Bourne. I am the worship pastor at Genesis Metro Church. And I am joined on my right, the prodigal son who has returned after many days adventuring the world. The greatest athlete, some say, in the history of Frisco ISD to suffer 6 concussions during his tenure. The world's greatest dog dad, the newlywed, the voice of the youth at Genesis Metro Church, and my brother, Titus Bourne. How we doing?
We're back. Good to be here. Glad to be back here, man. I missed you guys. I'm just happy to be back on the Bourne Raised podcast.
It's good to have you back.
I have many adventures to share today, so excited to get into them.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, they're going to be good.
But before we get to it, I also have to introduce on my left, the matriarch. You may know her as Christmas Carrie. You may have heard the rumors that she is the funniest staff member of Genesis Metro.
It's true.
She is the women's pastor, and she is my mother, the great and powerful Carrie Bourne. How are we doing?
That was like a Wicked intro. The great and powerful Oz. Sorry.
I didn't know that.
For those of you that don't know.
That was on the tip of everyone's tongue.
Great to be here. Christmas Carrie is back in full force. Oh, man. It's my best month of the year. I'm so excited.
And it is officially December.
It is. I can wear everything proudly.
Decorum on the table.
Yeah, we do. We're going to add a little every week.
All right.
Let's see if you notice.
All right.
Here we go.
Until you can't see any of us. Last but not least, I am joined at the end of the table by the man who needs no introduction except for the one I am giving him now. The figurehead, the visionary, the founding and lead pastor of Genesis Metro Church, and my father, Tim Bourne.
Hey guys, we are so happy to be back with you after our last episode of Aphantasia. Can you see the apple? Today we're going to be hearing about some of our Thanksgiving adventures, and I promise you it's going to be a good one.
So we are back after the Thanksgiving holiday. This one was a little bit different. We were more spread out than usual. I know, Titus, it was your first Thanksgiving as a married man, and y'all have now 2 different sets of families you have to see.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to split that apple the best we can. Yep. I was with my wife, Kennedy, at the Cowboys game for this Thanksgiving, and so it looked a little bit different at the Bourne house with Tim and Carrie so graciously taking care of our little daughter, as well as Silas, the youngest Bourne bro. And so do you guys have any stories, any tales from your Thanksgiving?
What a day, babe. What a day.
I think so. I think we learned some things. So over the years, in my family growing up, we didn't have a lot of tradition, but one thing we did have was football,
Yeah.
And I feel like, for a lot of families, one thing you can fall back to, you can always count on during the holidays. You can't count on family. You can count on football.
Amen.
And so when I got married, I realized that Carrie came from a girl family, and they
all about tradition.
They did not celebrate football the way that we did. And she has a tradition, and all the years that you guys have been alive, and for the last, I don't know how many years, we played Turkey Bowl on Thanksgiving to the last couple of years. But even then, Titus was still home, and so we would get up, and I think we would turn on the football games and start watching. And
Hey. You would get up and turn on the football games. I would get up 4 hours before that and turn on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Play our part.
So the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade has already been on for hours by the time football is starting, but it's perfect because it usually just like one ends and one begins. So you got up a little earlier this year while the parade was still on, and by the way, I had started cooking at about 7:30 that morning.
Yeah, and I wanted to come out and help you. You know, you look like you needed some help. And so I peeled some potatoes.
Okay.
And
I did see a video
peeled
of
like
you peeling
3.
some potatoes.
Yeah.
Babe, could you help me with these potatoes? I think he peeled 3 out of like 28.
They were peeled good, though.
Did you help with anything else?
No.
Well, I think where we ran into a little bit of marital discord was...
what's Thanksgiving without some marital discord?
During... I think holidays cause conflict for sure. But the parade was on, and in my life, I've never watched a parade.
Because they're usually gone for the turkey bowl, which we don't do anymore. You just mentioned on Thanksgiving.
The turkey bowl is like a 7-on-7 tournament our church does.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you
Football.
guys,
Context.
do you remember being young? Do you ever remember it being on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade?
I remember.
Of course they do, because we've been doing this for years.
Yeah, I
Can
remember
I
the
ask,
parade always being the thing that we had to watch before we got to watch football.
I understand, but it's a thing. It's a thing.
I
a
thought
lot of people watch it.
Just why do people watch parades?
Now, see,
just
I
fun.
thought you experience parades in person.
you're
Okay.
jumping ahead.
Okay,
You're
okay,
jumping
just
ahead.
stop.
Just wait
I
for
didn't
the
know I
story.
was
just
jumping
stop.
ahead.
Yep. Just hold
I
that
come
thought.
back after 2 weeks gone,
Put a pin in
and
it.
I can't do anything right. in the
Just put a
podcast.
pin in it.
So as I was watching it, I too had that thought. I started analyzing it,
Yes.
And I was like, these acts are really chintzy.
Oh, yeah, they
these
are.
people come in.
They're lip syncing. They're lip
Chintzy?
syncing.
There's
Chintzy.
floating like cheap. It's like 45 seconds of a old band
Sierra.
that still doesn't got it.
And it's all
they'll-
just commercialism.
Then there's like a floating
No, calm
Donald
down.
Duck or Michelin Man or something.
No.
And I'm sitting there watching, and I'm seeing these people cheering, like going crazy, you know. And I was like, who?
Well, their kids are probably
Who-
the dancers on the ground.
That's
so
what I
maybe
was
they're
wondering.
excited to be
I was-
there.
What?
So it's freezing.
Yeah.
And all these people, I've known some people that their kid made it in some kind of
Yeah.
competition, so they get to go perform.
I
One
see,
year,
I
the
see.
Little
Like a
Elm High School
cheerleader.
band was in it. I mean, it was a
But
big
I
deal.
was thinking to myself, are these
Shout out
New
Lobos.
Yorkers? Are these like the locals that come
No.
out by the droves to watch these
no.
15-second,
No, I don't
30-second
care.
acts walk by? And it's so cold. And I thought to myself, I would never do this. And so I said, Carrie, who do you think the people are that go to parades? And that was like my first strike.
He actually said it more like this: who would ever go to this?
Right. And so I was just making an observation.
Did that feel personal?
That's a fair
Well,
question.
I had asked him to help with the potatoes,
Well-
and he's like, "We got to film it." Okay, we got to film it, and then okay, let's film it. Okay, and then like he's moving like a snail's glacial pace.
Hey, but was
at
it done
peeling his
well?
Potatoes.
Was it done well though?
I felt so.
I did.
right.
I didn't really need him.
The cook
So
didn't
it
send
wasn't
any back,
helpful,
you know?
really,
Hey.
Anyway,
But let's just tuck that one in our pocket, okay? And so then we moved on, and Carrie is a blur, whenever she's in the kitchen.
I had a lot going at once.
Like, anyway, so as she's like cooking things up, I'm sure it's not stressful for her, but for me, it looks stressful.
But nobody asked you to be in there.
And she's
Love
like,
you.
I gotta get this monkey bread done. I got this done. I got this done. And so I was like, hey, babe.
Well, he kept trying to like throw out conversation questions.
Like talk to you.
Yes, I'm like, I don't want to talk to you right now. I'm in the middle of doing things, and my brain
This
is
is
moving at
Thanksgiving.
5 different
It's not
places.
time to talk.
I'm not
It's
here to
time for turkey.
socialize. I'm in task mode. I am get it done mode.
He kept trying
Shut
to
your
talk
mouth
to
if you
me.
want to eat, boy.
So if
Why don't you go
just
back to bed, old man?
What do you want?
So anyway, as she was making the monkey bread, she was like, I'm making the monkey bread for you and Sai.
What is monkey bread?
Monkey bread is like a cinnamon roll that looks like a brain.
Okay.
In Kansas, they call it bubble loaf.
What?
What?
Bubble loaf.
Monkey bread is bubble loaf?
I had some bubble loaf this year.
Ugh.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
like biscuits that are baked in cinnamon sugar goodness.
In a bunt pan. In a bunt pan.
Shout out Grandma Jenny.
That's right. Woo!
Shout out, Grandma.
Sure's. We love you.
Bubble loaf.
So
Okay, so
she's making the monkey bread.
Yeah, and she was talking about it was for me and Silas because you guys weren't here because you
I
don't
was like,
love
well, I
us.
always make monkey bread every year. Y'all
There
always
was a
eat
time our family showed up, but now they don't. And parents, you too, one day are going to face that. Someday your kids are just going to think life is about them and their families. And so,
it. My goodness.
so as we were there, I was like, well, I technically haven't eaten this monkey bread in probably 10 years. And so I thought to myself, as a loving husband, I'd like to be helpful here. And I said, hey, if you're making that monkey bread for me, I just want you to know you don't have to make it because I don't care about the monkey bread.
But he didn't say it in his. Do you hear the kind lilt of his voice that he is?
How did he really say it?
He
Mom?
didn't say it
How did
like
he really
that.
say it?
Yeah,
He's
how did you
across
hear
the
it?
living room, and he said, "No, I'm not going to say it how I heard it. How I heard it was much more snotty than you said it, but it
Oh.
wasn't like that."
But do you think I said it that way?
Okay, stop. Let me say it. So he said, if you're making that for me, I haven't eaten that in years. So I don't care about that. You don't have to do that for me.
Okay. What does that sound like to you though?
You mean nothing to this family. You are a waste of time and space.
There it is.
But do you see what he was really trying to say? My interpretation is that if this is causing stress that you feel pressure to get this done, then he was just wanting to ease that off of your plate.
But
for
let me say this. We did dissect this a couple days later is when you're in the
Not
middle.
that day.
We
didn't get to the bottom of it that day.
No. When you're in the middle of doing the things, and you're like, I'm in the middle of the process. I've got all the biscuits cut up, and I'm like shaking them in the bag. So you shake it and
get
cinnamon
between
sugar.
a woman and her biscuits.
And I also have a pie cooling and another pie going, and the ham is about to go in the oven.
Right.
Yes.
All of that prep is happening all at one time, right? And then he's like, you don't have to make that for me. Well, would you like me to just trash everything I've already done? Because I've already prepped it 3/4 of the way.
Right.
So now that's not helpful in this moment.
Right.
Maybe you tell me that in a couple of days. Hey, for future, I don't think I'm going to eat that monkey bread. It's cool if we don't keep making that. But in the moment, it feels like what you're doing is a waste of time. Stop doing that. But what I'm doing is for the family, and it's a tradition that also is a way I add value and that I feel like I show love to my family is by cooking and baking and providing those things. So it feels like it got stepped on.
Well, I feel like we just had a breakthrough.
I'll just say selfishly, man, it's a comfort to know y'all still got this going on. How many years in?
28.
Emma, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You are going to be okay.
Well, I think what we learned there was Carrie likes words of affirmation.
Yes.
And I lack words of affirmation.
They're just not up there. They're not up there.
So
he thinks by saying to me, you don't have to ever make that again is words of affirmation. And I'm like, no. That's not words of
I
affirmation.
have words of efficiency.
Yeah, no, that's
So
not the same
if
thing.
you ever need someone to come to your company and find out how to be more efficient, I'm your man.
That makes sense.
But what I think in retrospect, we both came to an agreement on was it sounded like I came out and I
Sleepily.
disparaged the parade. And
Which
then,
I've watched since I was a girl. It's one tradition. There's just a couple I've hung on to since
You
my childhood.
Literally rained on her parade.
I did.
Yes, literally.
Literally.
I did. And then I disparaged the monkey bread. So Macy's monkey bread,
And I just ended the food.
two strikes.
And mania.
So I turned off the parade and I turned on Alexa Christmas Music Volume 10, which if you know what that is,
Volume
it will
10.
break your freaking eardrums. That's what it will do.
And I left
And I
the room.
blasted that for the next couple hours while I finished all my cooking.
Well, here's
hours.
Here's a fun contrast. All right.
I'd like to just put a cherry on the top of that sundae.
Okay.
Because people are on the edge of their seat.
Yes.
Like, what is the moral of the story?
Oh, was there one?
Yes. So what I could have done, and all husbands that are out there, I'm trying to talk to the ones that are like me. If you're more like logic driven and less fuzzy, warm and fuzzy. Yeah. And so you should understand that when you come out, everything that you say is communicating whether or not you care or you don't care. Yeah. And so oftentimes I would just recommend silence. I just let the process play itself out.
Yeah.
And then if I was going to say anything, I should have said, hey, look at all of this food that you made. This is amazing. Thank you so much for doing all of these things.
Wow.
And I don't naturally think to do that. And I think that when you live with someone who loves words of affirmation, you got to be proactive in your word selection versus if I don't say the positive and I say things that could be perceived as negative, then the net is a loss. And so just know if you live with someone whose words of affirmation, you have to make an intentional effort to complement their effort, and then everybody wins.
Well, that is lovely.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's like a word bank. You can make deposits
Yeah.
if you want to make withdrawals.
Sure.
You know?
And I will tell you, for anyone that cooks, just this morning, just before we came here, actually, we were in the office. I walked in, I had baked some things and brought it to the office. and everybody ate some yesterday, but I walked into the break room and Rodrigo was enjoying a little piece of it still that was left over. And he goes, man, this is so good. And I was like, you know what, Rodrigo? You know what cooks like? They like to cook for people that like what they cook. So I will be baking for you a lot more often. Thank you so much.
Some words of affirmation. Hey guys, taking a break from the show. If you want to support this podcast, you can do that in a couple of ways. If you want to click on the link in our description or scan this QR code, that will take you to a site where you can select the fun podcast sponsorship. Additionally, if you want to share this show with 5 of your friends and get them to subscribe on our YouTube, that would be so helpful. Some of you listen on podcast platforms, Apple or Spotify, and that is great. Please continue to do so. If you could also just subscribe to the channel, you don't even have to watch the videos, but the more subscribers we can have, the better off we'll be. Now back to the show. Well, a story of contrast. A lot of the players involved, a lot of the elements involved are exactly the same.
Really?
I woke up. We turned on the parade.
Yeah.
Dakota loved the parade.
Oh.
All of the characters flying by.
Oh, good.
We made monkey bread.
Aw.
We had a great time making monkey bread. Just a happy little family. We even played Christmas music.
I love it.
Not quite at volume 10.
Yeah.
But at
I get it.
At a nice
That was
volume.
rage Christmas music.
Yeah, it was.
We were having happy Christmas music.
Yep.
And we just had a happy little time.
I love it.
Yeah,
It's so cute.
I'm failing to
so
see
good.
the comparison.
Well,
He said contrast.
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
it was a
Not
contrast.
comparison.
there was also
See, it's
parade and monkey
contrasting.
bread and Christmas
I was waiting
music.
for the fight.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
We were so happy when Dakota got to our house. that
Then
day,
the
for sure.
Cowboys game.
Yeah.
Big dog.
Let's
yes,
go, Cowboys!
Cowboys are on the comeback.
We got after it. It
We were
was fun.
eating. We
Here
were
we
eating.
go.
Eat that W.
And speaking of eating, for Thanksgiving, I didn't know this. They do all this like special concession food there.
Turkey
So
and all
we-
that.
Really?
We got
Turkey leg.
these.
We saw it on the broadcast. We
Yeah,
said,
we
is
did.
that
I
really being
wondered.
served?
They
We
called
wondered.
them Thanksgiving rolls, and so it was this giant egg roll, probably as thick around as your fist,
Yum.
and it was filled with an entire Thanksgiving meal:
That's awesome.
turkey, stuffing,
awesome.
Was it
cranberry
delicious?
sauce, green beans,
Yum. Was it
Yeah.
deep fried?
deep fried.
Oh,
It was really good.
I also love food and Tim
America.
doesn't. So
Yeah,
that's another
it
problem.
did feel like America.
That is
Post Malone
America.
did the halftime show. That was
Yep,
fun.
yep.
And beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
Beat the Chiefs.
Let's
Man.
go.
Beat the Chiefs.
Where's those Cowboy haters? I can't find them.
They're getting quieter.
Look at that.
Mahomes did have one of the most
Oh my.
Herculean plays I've ever seen in my life right in front of me.
Oh, it was right in front of you?
Double escape out of the sack and just launched it at a
dart.
diagonal angle,
Yeah.
40 yards
Just a
downfield.
strike.
It was incredible. And they still came out victorious.
Wow.
I was so happy.
I find that this year's Cowboys, it seems like they're not wilting under the pressure down the stretch.
It feels like we
Feels
have
like
some
a Schottenheimer thing.
maybe some culture. Yeah, maybe like it's
Oh,
not
I like
think
Schottenheimer.
It's definitely culture thing.
Like,
His energy
culture's
is
changed.
So
happy.
So yesterday in the DFW area, it's not pretty weather, dreary,
Yeah.
drizzling
Ugh.
/ kind of raining, 30 degrees. Cowboys practicing outside.
Yeah.
That's never been a thing.
Yeah.
They're a go inside when it's not perfect weather
Let's
kind of
go.
team. So
I think
some
that our
dogs.
listeners
That's what
would
you
be also interested that we single-handedly affected the Micah Parsons trade. And I remember all the hate that Jerry was getting. And now
So much hate.
in one
Oh.
season, they also made 3 different moves. And it looked like that defense was playing with some tenacity. They're being creative. And all of a sudden, if we're going to give hate, boy, we got to give some praise at this
That's
point.
right. We got to give some
Yeah.
praise to Jerry
Yeah.
for that defense.
Because
Jerry's
I
done-
thought
Jerry's done
we
a good
already
job.
threw this season
Quentin,
away.
we got all those
Yep.
people.
Yep. I would love to see if we can garner any lessons for the future. The full plan for putting the team together happened before the season starts.
Yeah, it's-
but
This is true.
absolutely.
Fine.
2
I'd
games
love
out of
to
first
see
place.
We
in
do
the
have to
Texas
win out.
turnaround.
We'd have
Yep.
to win out from here, though.
You got to win out.
But the
You
Eagles
need-
are imploding.
You need the Chargers and the Bills to beat the Eagles, and you got to win all your games, and then you're there.
right there.
But enough football talk. Titus,
Oh,
well,
man.
I think we
Titus-
had conflict, and then we had
Contrast.
Cowboys.
no for your family.
Cowboys.
No, like a happy word.
yeah, a happy word for what this was with a C.
Starts with C.
It
Yeah,
would
I know what you're-
be
I know what you're
congenial?
trying to go. Ka-chow.
Moving on.
And I think we're back to
And Titus.
So
All right.
we are going to have the first ever edition of what has the potential to be a recurring segment on this show.
For sure, recurring.
And we're going to title this segment The Adventures of Gunga-Lunga.
And can we put that spelled out on the screen?
Yeah, we'll get it down there.
Gunga-Lunga.
Titus, I'm just going to let you run with the ball now.
What happened?
How did you get this name?
When I got engaged, slowly after that, I was doing something, and one thing I received, inherited from my mom is I'm a fast mover. And
Almost spit my water
sometimes not always the most tact or
gentle.
Another word would be
I thought spatial awareness.
Sure, you could
Not
call it
also
that.
with most gentility in a room.
Gentle is not.
No.
So apparently my father-in-law has the same issue with his wife. She is also has this plague.
Okay.
And he started calling her Gunga-Lunga. And Emma, when she saw me starting to, reveal that side of myself to her, just one day she was like, "Oh, Gunga-Lunga," and I was, "What did you just?"
We had never heard that word.
What did you call me?
Yeah, but I think we'd been searching for that word all
Yeah,
along.
we've been-
It
Emma
felt,
brought it right
felt
there.
very appropriate. They, of course, my beautiful family, latched onto it
We were like,
very quickly.
yes.
And then Emma started doing a voice, Gunga-Lunga, oh, Gunga-Lunga. She's super proud of it.
Yeah.
So since then, now anything I do, right, when I knock something over or I, stub my toe or whatever, it's Gunga-Lunga, Gunga-Lunga. And over Thanksgiving, we had a couple of incidents.
Okay.
Like the 0 days since the last incident.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at zero.
reset.
We're at zero. We're at zero. So we have a car ride up to Kansas, and this was our first car ride.
How much
that-
time is in the car?
6
to Kansas?
hours.
6 hours.
Oh.
With
The dog.
Just the two
With
of you?
Winnie.
With Winnie.
With a dog.
That's
in the
enough
back
time for
seat.
some conflict.
This is the first car ride. We have not had any conflict the whole way.
Aw,
Okay.
What was the
nice.
secret? Not talking?
We put on a Netflix show.
Yep.
And
This
we
cabbage
just
playing.
binged that the
Yep.
whole time.
No talking.
And when we did talk, it was for the last hour, and now we want to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Titus and Emma are so much like Tim and I.
It was a good.
You just
it was a
learned
good
those tricks of the
compromise.
trade.
I couldn't watch a show while I was driving.
Well,
I'm not
you just have it
watching
playing.
I'm
You're
listening
playing,
to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit watching.
Tim has to have silence, remember?
Well. So we get up to Kansas, and we had forgotten to pack a fan for our room. And we are staying at Emma's grandma's house, and we need a fan for the room we are staying in. So we forgot to pack our fan, so we go to the Lowe's nearby and go to get a little box fan. I go in there, we find it, we get it, we go to the house, and we get downstairs to this room. It's in the basement, okay? And
We don't have those in Texas, but in the Midwest, they
there's
do.
only one outlet in the room, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's an older
Hellboy.
house, all right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it makes
naturally.
sense. Yep.
And we go to set up this fan now because we have to put the outlet's behind the bed, okay? So this fan cord isn't very long. I don't have any extension cords on me. And so we
Pro
have
tip,
to yeah,
always
Always
carry-
bring extension cords.
Always.
That's
cords
Tim Bourne
on
pro
trips
tip.
for sure.
Number one.
Power
So we have to finagle and, kind of MacGyver this fan, setting up to where it's actually pointing on us. And I finally kind of get it. I have to move some things around and set it up. And I get it sitting on top of this almost like dresser-like, but not a dresser, almost like what's it called? A hutch or
Yeah. Okay.
Is that what it's called?
Well, I
Sure.
don't know.
A wooden
Sure.
piece of furniture.
Yes. We put it
A
down.
nightstand.
And I turned it all the way up, I'm cranking that thing. And I'm laying there. Emma's getting ready for bed. I'm just scrolling on my phone. And then all of a sudden, I hear a... Whoa. Get up. Freaked me out. Apparently, if there was a camera on that fan, it was slowly inching to the edge.
Because you had it
It's
on
They call
high.
it walking.
Oh, it was walking.
Because I turned all the way up and that cord was tight.
Oh,
It was a Gunga-Lunga setup.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
This is going to work.
it's fine.
It fell over and shattered a 3-foot glass snowman that my
Grandma's.
had
Oh,
in her
Miss
house.
Janice, I'm sorry.
And
Oh,
it
no.
was broken into a bunch of little pieces. So then, this is where it gets really exciting. I'm a little frazzled. It was a 6-hour drive. I just got this thing situated, just got in bed. And now
Gunga-Lunga needs to sleep.
Gunga-Lunga needs his sleep. Amen. So there's glass all over the floor, and Emma walks in. Emma has slippers, by the way, that she always wears. So her feet are fine. My feet are not fine. So I was like, hey, we got to clean this glass up. So I like kind of get, on the ground.
Is this a carpet situation or
deep carpet?
Shag carpet. That's what they call that.
Blue shag.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen some blue shag.
I like it.
And on my hands and knees, like I'm kind of, I see the big pieces, but I'm kind of, just trying to like just see if there's like a bunch of little pieces in the carpet. And I'm running my hand, and apparently I was running my hand faster than I thought I was, and just ran my hand, cut my pinky open immediately.
Oh my goodness!
No, it wasn't a big cut, but
it's dripping blood.
It was a big reaction from Titus. I'm just like, man, like
this is not my night.
I'm done. My hand's cut open. I'm tired.
Frosty died.
Frosty's dead. So then we get out. We get all the big pieces up, all the glass pieces, and we have to go find now a vacuum. And there's this little basement room with like the foldable, almost like a divider. So we have to get that thing open. And then I find this vacuum. And this vacuum probably is from like the 1960s, 1970s. All right. It's got the dust bag, you know?
The cloth bag.
It's probably an upright Kirby.
Yeah.
We probably need to find a picture of an upright Kirby. I bet that's what it was.
So now I have to go back to that outlet and I have to unplug the fan.
Oh, because you have one outlet.
And plug in the vacuum.
And this is behind the bed?
Yeah.
And everybody's
Turn it
asleep.
on. Everyone's trying to sleep. I turn it on and it's an old vacuum. So the smell naturally.
It's like you turn the heater on.
Yes.
For the first time.
But got all the glass up. So that was night one. Okay. Night one of the Thanksgiving Adventures for Gunga-Lunga. Night two. All right. We get to the end of the day. I had just the best Thanksgiving food. It was just a great day all around. And we get to the end of the day and we're exhausted, wiped out from the day. I'm sure after a long day, it's a great Thanksgiving, but man, after all that food, all those laughs and all that football, you're ready for some sleep. So we are staying again in this basement room, and it is a full bed because it was not designed for a married couple to stay in together. It's designed for one person to stay in there. So we are getting ready for bed. And before I tell the end of this story, let's back up about 2 weeks ago. All right. I went to a doctor's visit. My wife scheduled me. And
would you say this is your first doctor's visit in your adult life?
Yeah. I've been to the doctor probably for a checkup.
Just a baseline.
I don't know, 7 years, 5 years. She wanted me to get blood work done to make sure I'm not dying, which appreciative, of course. So send me to this doctor. I go in here and I'm talking to him. And he says to me, before we finish up, Titus, I just have a couple of concerns. And to me, I'm like, you've known me for 5-10 minutes. I would understand what a concern you could have. But I'm like, at a doctor's office, you always try to be, you want to just be cordial and it's the doctor. And so you agree with the doctor. So I was like, yeah, what's up? What's the problem? He's like, well, I'm looking at this chart and like the weight seems to be trending up for you. I was like, yep.
Such a tactful way to say it.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
What are you saying there, Doc?
Yeah.
What?
Well, in 2015, Titus, you were at about 118. And in 2019, you were about, 150. And now you're at like 196. I was like, yeah. He's like, no, I think we need to probably talk about like some food habits. And I was like, this guy's serious. This guy's serious.
And for the audience, just to remind them.
Yeah.
How
I'm
old are
22 years old.
22.
So 2015, I was 12.
Right.
Yeah.
Prepubescent.
Yeah, that is such a great
So-
word.
so
That is
between
such
12
a great
and
word.
22, you think you put on?
I put on some weight.
Yeah.
Well, you're a grown man now.
Put on some weight. All right. And
Gunga-Lunga got thick.
I need to stand up, show the proof. I feel
No.
like I'm in.
No, you're good.
I feel like I'm in pretty
No,
good shape
you're
here,
fine.
people. All
You're
right.
fine.
Big back.
The shirt definitely doesn't. Like I'm good. All right. This is what I look like.
He's
So
calling you overweight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like he's telling you have a weight problem.
And he went through like, brown rice versus white rice. basic food groups.
He did.
They show you the pyramid.
Yeah, he put out the pyramid
At
on
the
the
top,
screen.
you have
I was
little
like, see
tweets.
right here, you gotta watch those carbs.
Oh no.
And I was like, man, this guy is legit. He's serious about this. And I really didn't know what to say. And so I was just trying to like just yes my way out of it. Yeah, let's just,
Yeah,
I'll get it.
okay,
Like, sure, I'll work on it. Yeah, sure. And he ended with, well, I have this weight loss drug that I recommend to some people. And
This is crazy.
he's like, if you're interested. Nah, I'm good.
Oh my
So now I'm walking out kind of shocked. Like this guy just tried to, in my mind, maybe this isn't wrong in my mind, pull one over on me.
Sure.
Right?
Yes, he
Like
gets
upsell you.
He gets a kickback
I mean, you just made me
for Ozempic.
try to make me feel like I'm overweight and then sell me on a drug.
Was there any thought that maybe your wife had?
I did ask Emma if she had called ahead. All right. Because she values health. All right.
Emma values health.
Which is a great thing. I'm thankful for that. But, we're going to move on. So with that in mind, okay, all that context, now we go back to night 2.
Okay.
Grandma's bed.
It's a long day, and I don't know if you have any family members and maybe you don't like the way they sit down on furniture. There's 2 types of people out there.
Yeah.
There's ploppers
Yeah.
and there's
Sitters.
sitters.
Gentle.
There's ploppers and there's sitters.
There's gungies and there's normies.
Personally, I'm a plopper. All right. All the exhaustion from my day is channeled down to me onto whatever piece of furniture I am sitting on.
Has this been all your life?
All my life.
Oh, yes.
All is
All
life.
my life. So I walk up to this bed. Again, this is probably a 30, 40-year-old bed. And I plop down. And as soon as I plop down, a crack that causes me to literally fall down and roll into the headboard. And my face, this face I make when things like this happen is literally just like a,
Shock.
and Emma literally just whips her head, she's, I'm like, I don't, and she literally just does this.
Oh, she's breathing deep breaths, deep breaths.
Pinching the top of her nose.
Yeah, that's the move. That's the move.
That's what she does when she's like.
It's like that moment, I know she's either about to be really mad or she's about to laugh. And like, we're on the tipping point.
It
It could go either way.
It could go either way. And so I like get up, I'm like, hey, are you mad? Are you mad? She's like, Gunga-Lunga never takes a day off.
Not even
So
Thanksgiving.
So I broke the bed and she said, man, I like the doctor, not the bed. Like maybe this is a wake up
maybe you
call.
do need
Maybe we're
to.
onto something here.
It's a
Maybe
wake-up
maybe
call.
you do need to
So
lose some weight.
I have a goal. I'm going to start in the New Year's, get down to 185, 11 pounds.
There you go.
That's my weight
All
loss-
right.
There you
my-
go.
My weight loss journey.
After the holidays.
they have drugs that can help with that.
Yeah.
They do. These
Maybe we can do a weekly segment where you get on a scale.
semaglutide.
He
Oh
almost
my
did
goodness,
it.
he almost just knocked his
literally
microphone
did it
over.
right then.
We're good. We're good.
We almost had another
We're good,
edition
we're good, we're good,
of the
we're good.
Adventures of
We're
Gunga-Lunga.
good. We're good.
Oh.
So that was basically my
So,
Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Then the 6-hour drive home.
Then a 6-hour drive home. And
So you broke a snowman and the bed in that
He
room.
decimated that basement.
Did you offer to pay for these things?
Whoa.
Grandma said it was okay.
But did she recommend that maybe next time?
You lose some weight?
Well, she might have said she might have said, love all you guys out there, but she might have said to me,
I love it.
Come
Come on, Miss Janice.
you look like you look healthy.
You've been eating good.
What?
You look healthy.
You just
Like you've been eating good.
yeah. And we looked at like a wedding picture on her fridge, and it was like, yeah, you look. I mean, everybody kind of agreed. Like you look thinner. Like
At your
face looks
wedding?
a little thinner. Yeah.
Wow. They're just letting these people talk to you like this?
I mean, they're not wrong.
oh, I think
Yeah.
you're doing great.
I mean, yeah.
At least you're not balding.
The best man in our wedding once called me a healthy girl.
Jordan is afraid he's balding.
I'm a little worried that in some of these episodes, I can see more scalp than I'm used to seeing in the camera.
Could you tilt your head forward for the audience?
I think it's the receipt.
We can let them
Kennedy
It's the
also said it's
recession
when
of
your
the
hair is
corners.
Do we
dirty.
feel like it's receding? I don't know.
Recession of the corners.
That feels
Yeah,
dramatic.
the corners look a little further.
Look at his corner. His corners are not nearly as far back as yours.
I'm just going to be vulnerable with you guys.
How are my corners?
I'm not sure
You're fine.
if or what is happening, but it does worry me a little bit. And we're all on this journey together.
And if you're a
30
listener
years,
and you have a solution that you'd like to send in, just
They also make hair plugs.
just comment below.
Weight loss drugs and hair plugs.
Are we saying in 30 years they'll tune in and
The guys.
I'll be fat and you'll be bald?
We were wondering which one of us would get the
Instead
wave
of
jeans, but we
instead
split
of
them
Ren,
up.
instead of Ren and Stimpy, it's Thin and Stumpy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
And if you're wondering, on the drive back, we did have a couple arguments.
Oh well.
Couple memory makers.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Now you can tell those later.
And then ended up being Turkey Bowl champ. Shout out Turkey Bowl champ this year, 2026 champions.
Dynasty.
We did not know that y'all were even going to play this year.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Last
All worked
minute
out just fine.
decision.
It was
Man, that was Thanksgiving.
you and Silas were out there without me this year.
We did.
It was my first
We
year
had
off.
to do it. It was good though. We won.
We had a lot going on last week.
I'm unk now, as Cooper likes to tell me.
Oh, Jordan's an old man, old dad.
Taking a quick break from the show.
Christmas Eve at Genesis Metro is here.
The week of Christmas on Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to have opportunities for you to come and bring your family with you.
There's going to be Christmas caroling, candlelight. There's going to be fun and festivities. You're going to want your whole family to experience this. Take a photo and invite some friends.
Service times are right here. We cannot wait to see you there.
RSVP today and back into the show. So we had a great Thanksgiving week, lots of memories made, lots of stories to tell.
Yep.
And we also, on Sunday morning, celebrated communion. Over the last couple of years, this has become somewhat of a tradition. We celebrate communion much less frequently than is the baseline for most churches out there. We've done it annually around the Thanksgiving holiday, and that's been done with intentionality. And PT, I wanted to open up the floor to you to speak on that, some of the heart behind that, and how that translates whenever we do celebrate communion.
Yeah, the Bible's really clear. It says, as often as you do this in remembrance of me. And what I saw in my past churches that I worked for, and attended, is that communion would become part of the schedule. And when it becomes part of the schedule, a lot of times it loses its effectiveness or its specialness. And it'd be like if you celebrated your birthday every day, then would your birthday be as special? And I watched people observe communion, and I'm not saying that they weren't sincere, but it wasn't an like awe-inspiring event. And when I think of remembering what Jesus did at the cross and how he gave his life for us, that is like the most sobering, the most like dial it in and consider the cost of your salvation moment. And so I always wanted to do it less frequently, but when we do it, make it as big as, if you will, an Easter service or a Christmas service, and try to symbolize it through different, if you will, props or light installations or different formations that we've done, where the whole church gets to come together and participate. And so this year, we took a look at Revelation chapter 5, and it talks about a scroll, and there's a scene in heaven, and no one was able to open this scroll. And John, the apostle who was in heaven watching this transpire, it says that he wept, and he wanted to know what was written. He wanted to know what was the next moment, what's the next story, how does it end? And it says that the Lamb got up, and it says that he was worthy to open the scroll, and that this elder said, "Don't weep, because the king is coming." And we thought that would be a great series to consider during this Christmas season. And so we wrapped that into a communion service, because when we think about remembering who Christ was, we wanted to illustrate and highlight that he was the only one that was worthy, not just in the book of Revelation, but in our salvation. He's the only one that's worthy. He's the only one that can save us. And so when we remember the body that was broken, Isaiah 53 illustrates this, and the blood that was shed, I want people to go through a process. And so we had everyone write down gratitude statements, and we show these attributes of God, and we want them to reflect before they observe communion, because we don't want to denigrate and we don't want to devalue what was done there and how they observe communion. And so we wanted to paint the clearest picture possible. And I think that's what we did. And then we get to bring that gratitude to God before we sit at his table and remember his son that came to save us from our sins. And so we went through that process. And in the new building, that was interesting, or with the addition. So we've never served to 900 people before. And it takes a little bit of time to distribute bread and wine. And then there was some mishaps. I think some bread got dropped. So
It's going to happen.
like a whole basket of bread got dropped. And so we weren't ready for that. And so whenever you're doing something new, there's always going to be things that you can't prepare for. And so we learned some lessons. But afterwards, we have this giant sign. And maybe we can put a picture of it.
Yeah, we'll put a picture in there.
And it says the king is coming, and it's a light backdrop with the word spelled out. And there's these acrylic dowels that we allowed every single person in our church to put a dowel in so that they could be part of the light during this Christmas season to our community. And we want everyone to know, obviously, who might be listening to this podcast or might be watching our services or part of our church. We want them to know the king is coming and he can make such a difference in your life.
Absolutely. I know that the tone was exactly what we were shooting for in my experience. It was a very reverent room, both in the worship center and in the green room where some of the worship team was experiencing service. And worship had a little bit of a different energy on Sunday.
It was so good.
I thought that all worked together so well, but we made some pivots a couple weeks ago so that it would be a more special service and less routine, less rote. And in the past, I used to be worried about doing songs that we didn't do regularly for special moments because I want people to be able to participate and sing along. And the fear would be if they're not familiar with it, then the energy would go down in the room. What was really cool was that even though it was something that wasn't very familiar, it was familiar enough that people got hold of it mid-song and post-song. And so when we did the blessing with Cody Carnes and Carrie Job at the top of the set, it had this very powerful, impactful moment. But then when we brought it back out at the end, it really tied a bow on the whole thing. And
You might want to explain what we did there at the end.
As far as the
Hymn.
two different
The
songs.
hymn.
Yes. So we decided to pull out an oldie and a Goldie, Nothing But the Blood, which is a classic song. And what better picture for communion? What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. So we opened with that, and then we reprised part of the song that we played at the top. That was a prayer of blessing over families and generations, and the presence of God being with you, all around you. Even though we walk through all kinds of different things, God is never far. He's always near. He's with you. He's for you. And then we sandwiched that book, ended it with the once again, oh, precious is the flow that makes me white as snow. No other fount I know, nothing but the blood of Jesus. What was really cool was that I got to hear testimony from someone this week who grew up in a Baptist background where that song would have been played and sang regularly, Nothing But the Blood.
Yep.
She said, I never thought I would be raising my hands in worship with tears running down my face, listening to that song, worshiping to that song. And to me, that's the magic of Genesis Metro.
So good.
The things that may have been old or routine can have new life breathed into it, can have intentionality and the living spirit of God breathed into it. And what we see in those moments is that the whole room comes alive and the whole room is affected and impacted by that. And those are just magical moments to be part of.
It's so good because those old ones, those old hymns, I grew up singing that song as well. And I got a text from another friend who said, man, that just hits different when it's in this environment. It just hits different. It just feels different. And it's not that, every single church traditionally that does that isn't worshiping. I would say that would be a misstep to state that. But in the environment that we're in, we really have a high value for worship. And we don't sing that song. It's not rote. It would be one that is unfamiliar to most people in the Genesis Metro family, unless you grew up in some sort of traditional church space. But to hear that sandwiched with and meshed together with the blessing, which is, the Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you. And then you go into, man, there's no other fount I know, nothing but the blood of Jesus. It hit different. It was powerful. I had tears streaming down my face in the back. I wasn't even out on the stage. I was just in the back and listening and feeling the power of God. And it was, of course, PT had set the stage with Revelation 5, which was just a beautiful, beautiful sermon on remembering communion. But John, as you mentioned, and he's like tearful. It's like, when you think about how John wrote that, and he was what do you call it? He was not stranded. He had been exiled as he wrote that. And when you're thinking about those kinds of things, I think the reason that some of those hymns feel rote to those of us that grew up in that, because we just sing them over and over and over, kind of like you do communion over and over and over so many times that you forget how special and important it is. And so if we read the Bible like that, also, we forget how important and special it is. And here's John having experienced all that he experienced with Jesus, with the living Savior, with the living, crucified, now lifted up, ascended Savior. And he's writing this in remembrance of a life lived for the King, having seen the King come, having watched the King go back. And now remembering and what our purpose is. I don't know. All of that was just like, it was all swirling and it was all just really powerful. Great way to set the table and set the stage for us, for it to be a really special day that we won't forget.
Yeah, sneak preview. This week, the next part of that passage says that when he took the scroll, that the beings that were in the vision bowed down and began to worship him. And it says they sang a new song. And so I think that whenever we think about a person that's walking into our church, we never really know what it is that is going to impact somebody's life. And why is church so important? It's because there's greeters at the door that have changed eternity just by welcoming somebody and remembering their name. There's people that will never know that just them helping in the parking lot allowed that family to get in there at just the right time to hear the message. And the children's workers that are presenting the gospel to children that are going to get a head start so far in advance of most people that will ever, grow up outside of church. And then you got the worship and you got the sermon. You got all the things that are making eternity possible for people. And so I heard a great story yesterday. You and Matt were sharing with me that our new song had impacted in somebody profoundly, that they needed to hear when they walked in like 5 weeks ago, that giants fall when I pray in your name. Giants fall when I shout in your name. And so it's so wild that we could write a song.
It's humbling.
And then someone like says that and they don't even know, all the background of it.
Yep.
And so it can be anything. And that's the beauty of what we do. And that's the thing that drives my passion, is that every single week lives are on the line. Every single podcast, someone's going to watch. And, you want to just present a light that can save people. And so I think that's why we do what we do. And so communion is different at Genesis Metro because we value it so high that we're going to go all out and we want people to experience it. And I think that's what we've heard throughout the years, is that I've taken communion hundreds of times and it wasn't like that communion.
But why didn't it mean the same?
Yeah.
Why did it not mean the same?
Yeah.
I think y'all hit it beautifully. Obviously, we didn't grow up in that setting of like, there's a routine tradition. Obviously, we grew up in them with Genesis Metro. And so although we can't relate to that experience, I think we can only just praise and attest to what GM does and how everything that is done in terms of, either old traditions, old songs, new sermon illustrations or props or interactives. It's all done with so much intentionality that I think it makes it almost undeniable when people walk out that something different happened.
Yeah, it makes it come alive.
But I think that's what's the intentionality the level of intentionality will kind of tell on you as a person in ministry, because they will know very quickly by their experience how much intentionality was poured into it. And so I think it tells the truth a lot of the time on a church when people come into your service. Are they walking out with that feeling? And people want to say, well, it's just like, oh, I just feel so good, or whatever. But like, we know on our side, we're putting so much intentionality in that you're going to experience it. And so I think with the light board, I know that a bunch of people talked about how cool that was, and for everyone to do it. We had a huge long line, and it was a little chaotic, but it was a very cool picture, and so many people participated. And I know that I got to pass out the bread and the wine this year, and to watch families do it together. I think people really rallied around it being a family experience.
Yep.
And how cool is that for the modern church to see families choosing to do this all together and saying it's important that we remember what Jesus did, how he sacrificed for us, and to see ages from 7 to 70 in there, participating in that is just an amazing a thing to see. And I think for all of us from top to bottom, the service, the sermon, the worship, man, it was a powerful, powerful day. I know writing down the Thanksgiving things or things we're thankful for was huge as well. For me and Emma, our first Thanksgiving and communion and everything as a married couple, you learn a lot in the first couple months for sure. And to have a moment to kind of reset, have that moment of gratitude, even for us in ministry. I hope y'all know, don't think we don't need it just as much as everyone else. I think that sometimes becomes the thought, and no, we need it just as much as everyone else to have a time to kind of breathe and wow, let's really, really, understand and have that level setting for us just of how big this thing is. So I know it was impactful for me personally because of that as well.
So good. So good. Yes. And as Titus was sharing, before we observed communion as a church, we all had cards that we wrote down, characteristics of God that we are thankful for and focusing on right now, and then things in our lives that we are thankful for. And if you want to participate in that with us, viewing this show or experiencing services online, in our comment section, if you want to add some characteristics of God that you're thankful for, blessings in your life that he's given you that you're thankful for, we would invite you to participate in that. We want to thank you for joining us for another episode of the Bourne Raised podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, like I just mentioned, leave those things in the comments and like the video. That's so helpful for us. If you're listening on podcast platforms, you can leave a 5-star review and comment as well. We'll see you in the next one.